Back here, Lowell Park in Katuitt, Massachusetts for the top half of the 5th inning, a 0-0 ball game. The Cavaliers and the Braves.
Left fielder from Georgia, number 11, Stephen Wren.
Alongside Sam Hyman, I'm Kerry Crowley. 9-1-2 due up for Bourne as Stephen Wren, Richie Martin, and Brett Sullivan will all come to the plate against the lefty Vince Fiore. He's been sharp so far. Fiore began his motion, but home plate umpire Tim Farwick called time. He's back into it. First pitch, called strike on the outside corner. Fiore not throwing as hard as Andrew Sopko, but he's been just as effective, matching zeros through the first 4. Stephen Wren laces one up the middle. Tough play for the second baseman, Ebert, and it gets by his glove and into right center field, a base hit. Stephen Wren rounds first, and that's where he will stand. That ball caught up on Ebert quickly.
Shortstop from Florida, number 12, Richard.
The reason why that ball was so tough to field is because it skipped right off the left side of the mound, and that caused to have more and more backspin and get the ball quicker out there into the outfield.
Now Richie Martin will come to the plate, standing in the right-handed batter's box. The third baseman Taylor in on the corner. Martin takes a first pitch fastball off the outside corner. The catcher Barrera bluffs a throw down to first. Stephen Wren back safely. The Braves looking to get something going here in the 5th. They've left a runner on base in each of the first 4. 1-0 the count. Fiore winds home. Martin, little golf shot into left field. Taylor coming in, and he can't make the play. Richie Martin on base for the 31st consecutive game, the longest streak in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
From Pacific, the second baseman, number 7, Brett Sullivan.
On the play, Wren moves up to second, and the Braves have runners on first and second. Still nobody out here in the 5th. Brett Sullivan coming to the dish. Earlier in this game, we saw Harvey Shapiro put the bunt sign on. Harrison Bader was at the plate. He laid down a successful sacrifice, but Fiore pitched out of the jam in the 2nd. Fiore from the stretch nods at the second baseman Ebert. Sullivan shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike on the outside corner.
Not surprising to see Sullivan show bunt here, a guy that loves to push it to the right side. He's done that a handful of times, and he does it very effectively. A high chopping bunter is Brett Sullivan.
Harvey Shapiro flashing the signs down in the third base coach's box. Middle infield double play depth. That's Holder out at short, Ebert at second. 0-1 count, but this time the pitcher Fiore steps off the rubber and looks Stephen Wren back at second. Interesting setup here as Logan Taylor, Brendan Hendricks are well in at the corners. 0-1 the count. Sullivan not showing bunt. Rips one down the first base line. That's in fair territory. Here comes Stephen Wren. He'll score the first run of the ball game. Richie Martin into third base, and Brett Sullivan will hold up at first. 1-0 Braves here in the top of the 5th.
Number 14, Mark Laird, the right fielder, LSU.
So after Harrison Bader lays down a successful sacrifice in the 2nd, Harvey Shapiro pulls the sack sign off in the 5th, and it pays off for the Braves. Richie Martin stands at third, Brett Sullivan at first. He's the RBI man, the Braves in the lead.
And because the first baseman, Brendan Hendricks, was playing so far in and away from the first base bag, that was an easy hit for Brett Sullivan. It might have been a play for an out had Hendricks played in his original spot.
Now Mark Laird will come to the plate. The corner's still in, although Hendricks is holding on Sullivan over at first base. Logan Taylor playing at the cut of the grass at third. Mark Laird in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch to Laird. He cuts at it and hits down the first base line. The first baseman Hendricks bobbles it, so he'll step on the bag. Richie Martin holding over at third on the play. Brett Sullivan up to second. Second time in this ballgame we've seen Mark Laird chase the first pitch against Vince Fiore, an SEC pitcher at South Carolina who Laird has likely seen through his first 2 seasons in Baton Rouge. Laird the first out of the inning. The infield all the way in now for Xander Wheel. Wheel the cleanup hitter out of Vanderbilt. Fiore from the windup. His pitch, cut on and hit in the air, right field, short right field, so it'll be tough for Richie Martin to tag. The right fielder Norwood coming in. He makes the play. Martin will not tag. He will hold up. So Xander Wheel also a first pitch out. disheartening right now for the Bourne Braves to see runners at second and third and 2 quick outs.
We've seen a lot of first pitch swinging, not just for the Bourne Braves, but the Kettleers as well. Last half inning, in a 1-2-3 inning, the Kettleers had 2 guys swing at the first pitch, so anxious to get some runs on the board. Both these 2 teams are.
Now Blake Davey will come to the plate. Davey 1 for 2 on the day, an extra base hit and a strikeout. It seems like that's been his recipe all season. Fiore from the windup. He kicks and deals. Davey foul tips one into the glove of Barrera. That's strike 1. Richie Martin picked up his 49th hit of the season. That leads the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's over at third. Brett Sullivan, an RBI single. He's at second. 0-1 the count. Fiore comes home. Another foul tip into the glove of Barrera. Strike 2. Lefties love to work Blake Davey away in the strike zone. It seems like that's been their formula for success all season. 1-0, the Braves lead the Kettleers here, top 5. Fiore hides the ball behind his glove. He kicks and deals, and his fastball well off the plate outside. Barrera had to come out of his crouch, and now he'll call time and walk to the mound to discuss things with Vince Fiore. Key spot here, the Braves left 1 on in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And if Davey can't be productive here, they'll leave 2 more on in the 5th.
You almost forget Mark Lair tripled back in the 3rd inning because Fiore had 2 strikeouts and didn't make anything of it.
1-2 to count. The pitch, foul tipped off the glove of Trace Barrera, and he smacks his mitt. Unhappy, he's unable to hold on. Could have been out number 3 right there. Instead, the Braves granted a second chance. Blake Davey is on these pitches. They are just grazing his brown wooden bat. Fiore shakes off the catcher. Barrera gets the sign he wants. 1-2 the pitch, popped up right side, and that goes over the metal grandstands on the first base side of the field. The Braves trying to give Andrew Sopko more insurance than just the 1 run they've brought home here in the 5th. The righty out of Gonzaga's thrown a gem so far. Vince Fiore had matched him up until this inning. 1-2 the count. Fiore into his windup. Davey pops it up right side. It's the first baseman Hendricks. He might not have enough room, and that ball tails into the stands, out of play.
And this is an example of a good Blake Davey at bat. You're in the hole 1-2 right now, fouling off pitches, giving himself an opportunity to find one he can drive.
The first baseman from UConn led the Huskies in home runs and runs batted in, and he's got a chance to help out his Braves right here. 1-2 all over again. Fiore winds. Davey cuts and misses at the changeup. Fiore gets out of the inning, but not before the Braves tack on the first run of the ball game. Despite stranding 2, they take a 1-0 lead, and that's the score here in Katuitt as we head to the bottom half of the 5th on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.